Imagine stepping back in time, navigating the ancient Mediterranean. Not with the roar of engines, but with vessels crafted entirely by hand, ships capable of traversing vast, open waters.
It's hard to picture, isn't it?
Yeah. How did these ancient mariners build ships sturdy enough for such incredible journeys without the hum of modern machinery? What forgotten secrets did their shipwrights' toolboxes hold? Today on The Deep Dive, we're embarking on an incredible journey. Thousands of years of shipbuilding. Our mission. It's to uncover the ingenious tools that ancient craftspeople invented, adapted, and mastered across the diverse worlds of Egypt, Greece, and the mighty Roman and Byzantine empires.
This is quite a sweep of history.
It really is. Get ready to discover some surprising facts and honestly some truly profound aha moments about the often overlooked how behind ancient maritime power.
And our guide for this fascinating deep dive is an extensive master's thesis. It's a remarkable piece of research titled Shipbuilding Tools in Antiquity in the Mediterranean, an Archaeological and Ethnographic Approach. This study, it meticulously spans from about 3000 BC right through to the 7th century AD.
Wow, that's a huge time frame.
Massive. And it draws on this rich tapestry of evidence, archaeological finds, ancient texts, intricate iconography like pictures and carvings, and even modern-day ethnographic studies.
Ethnographic. So like comparing to traditional practices still around today.
Exactly. It's a really comprehensive look at how all these diverse sources come together to paint a vivid picture of ancient technology.
That's right. You'll discover not just what these tools look like, but why they evolved the way they did, and how their designs, how they reveal fundamental shifts in the very techniques of shipbuilding itself. You're basically getting a shortcut to being truly well-informed about a vital, yet often unseen aspect of ancient civilization. It's about understanding the hands-on ingenuity that shaped their world.
And this isn't just some, historical catalog of old tools.
Yeah, not at all.
It's a profound look at human problem-solving in its purest form. How people adapted to diverse environments, how they wrestled with natural resources, and constantly pushed the boundaries of what was possible with the technology they had.
Yeah.
You'll see how critical thinking, combined with hands-on application, has always been at the heart of innovation. It connects us to these ancient craftspeople in a really tangible and honestly inspiring way.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our journey begins, fittingly, in ancient Egypt. A civilization whose very existence was deeply, intricately tied to the majestic Nile.
Absolutely central.
Yeah, this wasn't just a river, it was the pulsating lifeblood of their society, right? The ultimate highway connecting cities and communities. And it was the absolute catalyst for a booming shipbuilding industry that defines so much of their culture and their economy.
Indeed, watercraft were truly a cornerstone of Egyptian civilization. They drove economic prosperity, and they fostered a remarkable cultural unity across their vast lands.
Makes sense.
And what's particularly insightful is that the labor force for shipbuilding was quite diverse. Historical records suggest that men, women, and even children were involved in these organized tasks.
Really? Children too?
Apparently so, often coming from lower socioeconomic classes. This detail, highlighted by researchers like Monroe, it really underscores the widespread societal impact of shipbuilding, how integral it was to the fabric of their daily lives.
It's hard to imagine the sheer scale of these operations, especially when you think about where they started with humble stone tools.
Right, basic materials.
But then metals enter the picture first, copper, then bronze. That sounds like a truly critical shift. How did that transition in materials happen? And what did it mean for the shipwrights on the ground?
Well, early Egyptian tools were primarily fashioned from stone, yes. And they were remarkably effective for their time, let's be clear.
Sure.
But as metallurgical knowledge advanced, particularly during the late period, copper and then bronze became increasingly prevalent in tool manufacturing. But what's truly fascinating here is that stone tools didn't simply vanish. They actually continued to be used right alongside these newer metal ones.
Oh, interesting. Why was that?
Well, it wasn't a sign of, technological backwardness. It was a very practical choice. Stone tools were less expensive to produce. They were easier to resharpen in the field using readily available materials like another stone.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't require the specialized craftsmanship or infrastructure of metalworking. So this highlights a really pragmatic approach to technology adoption. Efficiency, cost-effectiveness, ease of maintenance, these often dictated the choice, even when more advanced options became available.
So a very real-world, adaptable approach to innovation then.
Exactly. It speaks volumes about their practical mindset.
So given that these craftspeople didn't leave behind, instruction manuals or neatly organized tool catalogs, how do archaeologists and historians actually piece together this information across thousands of years? What are our windows into their world?
It's like detective work, really. We meticulously piece it together from incredible, enduring sources that survive the ravages of time.
Like what?
Think of miniature tomb models, for instance. They offer these amazing three-dimensional snapshots of bustling workshops and activities.
Oh, cool.
Then you have intricate carpentry scenes depicted on tomb walls. These provide vivid visual narratives, showing tools in action, demonstrating how they were skillfully wielded.
Right.
And of course, actual archaeological artifacts, the tools themselves, when they're unearthed, they offer direct physical evidence.
Makes sense.
The carpenter's shop model of Maquette Ray is a prime example of this wealth of information. The researcher Winlock, describing it, famously said one could almost hear the rasping of the ripsaw, the chopping of the adzes, the tapping of mallet on chisel handles.
Wow, that vivid, huh?
Yeah. These detailed representations offer a truly amazing window into their daily work and even the sounds of an ancient shipyard.
That's an incredible level of detail.
Yeah.
Let's really dive into some of these individual tools then. Starting with the axe, or mine, as they called it. The axe is the quintessential chopping tool, right? What was its primary hands-on role in building these massive ancient ships?
The axe was absolutely essential, a foundational tool, you could say. It was used for the heavy work, felling trees, initially splitting raw logs into more manageable pieces.
The real grunt work?
Exactly. And then for the crucial first steps of roughly shaping those planks, shipwrights wielded it to cut both parallel and across the grain of the wood, which shows its versatility. And for felling large trees, woodcutters typically employed axes with long handles designed to be used with both hands, gave them maximum power and leverage.
Right, makes sense. And how did these axes change over the vast sweep of Egyptian history? Was it just aesthetics, or did these changes reflect real functional improvements?
Oh, the development primarily involved the blade itself, and these weren't just cosmetic shifts. Early forms had rounded blades. These then evolved into square blades and eventually to fully deep axe blades with distinct lugs, those little protrusions.
Plugs, okay.
Yeah, these morphological changes likely reflected a growing understanding of leverage and cutting efficiency for different tasks. It improved the sheer power and control a shipwright had, leading to faster or more precise timber shaping.
So better tools meant better, faster work.
Precisely. And initially, methods for attaching the blade to the handle relied on simple leather lashings.
Right.
Later, a more sophisticated method emerged incorporating specific holes on the blade itself. This allowed for tighter lashing with leather thongs, which significantly improved the tool's stability and effectiveness during heavy use.
Ah, a more secure fit.
Exactly. And beyond their utility, axes also held ceremonial significance. They're often found beautifully decorated and inscribed, underscoring their importance in society, not just the workshop. We even have dockyard records from the Senwisard Eye region that provide surprisingly specific details. They indicate standardized axe weights typically between 700 to 560 grams and blade thicknesses ranging from 0.15 to 0.7 centimeter.
Wow, that's specific, standardized weights.
Yeah. This level of precision suggests a remarkably organized approach to tool production and deployment. It hints at a very early form of, industrial standardization for such large-scale projects as shipbuilding.
That's pretty amazing. Okay, so after an axe shaped, the raw timber saws, or TFA, were undeniably crucial for precision cuts and making planks. What innovations did the Egyptians bring to saw design to handle such demanding work?
Saws were absolutely vital, especially in the early stages of ship construction, for processing large timbers into the blocks and planks needed for a hull.
Right.
They also played a role in the finishing stages for trimming off any excess wood from the completed hull. Egyptian saws developed into two main shapes: push saws, where the cutting action occurred on the forward stroke, and pull saws, which cut on the backward stroke. Their evolution is visible through time. We see flint saws from the pre-dynastic Badarian period,
Wow.
and copper saws from the First Dynasty discovered at Saqqara. These featured slightly curved edges with a round, blunt nose, and their edges were often hammered to increase hardness and cutting efficiency. By the Fifth Dynasty, tomb scenes depict saws with distinct straight backs and curved cutting edges. often with ergonomic handles molded to fit the carpenter's hands for a more comfortable and controlled grip during prolonged labor.
Makes sense for long days of work.
Definitely. And the sawing process itself could be quite elaborate, especially for larger logs. It sometimes involves setting up two vertical wood branches, roped together with a cord and a weighted stone.
A weighted stone. How did that work?
Well, this setup allowed the blade to move freely up and down between the branches, guided by the rope and weighted for consistent pressure. It was a primitive but remarkably effective mechanism for processing massive timbers without a modern sawmill.
Ingenious, really. Okay, the adze, or ant. This tool seems to be the Swiss Army knife of ancient Egyptian woodworkers, popping up everywhere. What made it so indispensable, especially for their distinctive shipbuilding techniques?
The adze was truly the workhorse, no question. A multi-purpose tool absolutely central to their craft. It was essential for rough shaping, finishing timbers with precision, and removing thin layers of wood with great control.
Okay.
Its blade was typically fastened to the shaft using durable materials like leather thongs, linen strips, or strong cords. Had to ensure it could withstand the heavy blows of continuous use, right?
Yeah.
Scholars like Roger categorize adze handles by their shapes, identifying distinctive swan neck and candy cane forms.
Swan neck and candy cane.
Yeah. And Monroe further distinguished between smaller hand adzes, typically with a 45-degree blade angle for finer, more delicate work,
Right.
and larger two-handed adzes with a wider 90-degree angle to the haft. These were specifically designed for the rapid removal of material when shaping substantial timbers.
Gotcha. Different tools for different scales of work. And how did this crucial adze blade itself evolve over time?
Well, the adze blade with parallel sides underwent significant development from pre-dynastic times right through to the Third Intermediate period.
Okay.
Initially, long, narrow copper blades were common. By the early dynasties, blades became broader and slightly concave at the sides. From the Second Dynasty onward, the upper end of the blade developed a rounded curve. And by the Third to Fifth Dynasties, blades featured a distinct notch in the upper end, developing into a clearly formed head for better hafting.
Mm-hmm.
Bronze blades appeared by the 12th Dynasty, used alongside copper ones. They offered increased hardness and durability.
Right. Stronger material.
And the importance of the adze is profoundly underscored by its presence in ceremonial contexts. Like those bronze adzes inscribed with Hatshepsut's name signifies its revered status. Furthermore, adze marks are clearly visible on archaeological finds, like the deck beam from the Red Boat at Dashur and on the keel from the tomb of Ti in Saqqara. This provides direct physical evidence of its ubiquitous use in shipbuilding. Its prevalence truly reflects the core philosophy of ancient Egyptian shipbuilding, as we'll get into.
Chisels, or MD-AD. These sound like they'd be for the finer, more precise work, right?
Yeah,
Critical for creating those intricate joints that held their boats together.
precisely. The chisel's main use was indeed for small, precise cuts, for removing wood along or across the grain, which was essential during hull construction.
Okay.
It was primarily wielded to cut mortises, those rectangular slots or channels for joining purposes. Think of the sophisticated mortise and tenon joints that characterized Egyptian shipbuilding, where planks were interlocked with incredible precision.
Right, the tabs and slots.
Exactly. They also used chisels for sculpting and decorating the elegant stem and stern finals, and for carving out the specific positions for oars along the vessel.
So detail work too.
Definitely. And the significance of chisels in their craft is highlighted by their frequent listing in funerary inscriptions. Thousands were requested for the tomb owner's use in the afterlife. Shows how deeply ingrained these tools were in their concept of a skilled existence.
That's amazing. Were there different types of chisels, or was it more of a single universal design they used?
Oh, there were several specialized types, each perfectly adapted for specific tasks. The simplest was the bare metal chisel, handheld, no wooden handle, found even in prehistoric Egypt, demonstrating a very direct connection between hand and tool.
Okay.
Then came the graving chisel with round handles from the First Dynasty, likely for more detailed carving. The square chisel was a robust tool used from the 3rd to 19th dynasties. Most crucial for shipbuilding were the mortising chisels. These were wide and thin, specifically designed for digging deep holes. They were often struck with a heavy mallet to exert considerable force.
Right, for those joints.
Exactly. These came in both square bar and rectangular bar forms, the latter being heavier for efficiently cleaning out and finishing mortises. The tang chisel, designed to fit into a separate handle for better ergonomics and impact absorption, was rarer before Roman times.
Okay.
And finally, the firmer chisel had a shorter rectangular blade with a round top, making it comfortable for handwork and carving smaller details.
Gotcha.
Evidence of chisel usage is abundant. We find distinct chisel marks on mortises in the dash of boats and lished planks, tangible proof of their vital and varied role in ship construction.
A bow drill or wint. That sounds surprisingly sophisticated for ancient times, relying on a mechanical principle to generate power.
And it is surprisingly sophisticated, yeah. A clever application of leverage and rotation. The bow drill was primarily used for drilling small, round holes, often for pegs or other fastenings.
How'd it work?
This tool consists of a wooden bow, a cord wrapped once around an arrow-like spindle, and a cap for applying downward pressure from the top.
A cap.
Yeah, the cap, often made of a hard material like black quartz, helped to center the drill and allowed for controlled downward force, while the bow provided the rotational motion. Back and forth with the bow spins the drill.
Ah, I see. Clever.
It is. Interestingly, though, the bow drill was considered less essential for the main hull construction itself.
Oh, why is that?
Because ancient Egyptian boat builders generally avoided making holes in the hull planks if they could. They wanted to prevent water penetration, so they favored techniques like lashing or mortise and tenon joints that minimized perforations.
Makes sense. Keep the water out.
Exactly. So it was rarely portrayed in shipbuilding scenes until the late New Kingdom, which indicates its specialized rather than widespread application. However, physical evidence, like drilled peg holes, exists from vessels like the Materia vessel, around 500 BC, and from the site of Wadi Gwasis, confirms its targeted use for specific tasks.
Okay, now for the bouncing crew, let's talk percussion tools, starting with the hammer for fitting parts and driving things in, I imagine.
Absolutely. Hammers were crucial for fitting whole parts together with force and for driving planks into their precise positions.
Right.
The Egyptians utilized various forms of stone hammers, small cylinder shapes, two-handled versions for greater impact, and cubic shapes, often just smooth, dense stones that functioned effectively as hammers without needing a hafted handle.
Just a rock, basically.
A well-chosen rock. We see scenes illustrating workers using stone-handled hammers during hull construction, like in the tie relief. Highlights their fundamental role in assembling the vessel's structure. Examples include distinctive hammer stones from Badari and various stone hammers from the Old Kingdom found in contexts like Saqqara, shows the continuous use through the millennia.
And what about the mallet, or exarpitigo, a wooden hammer then?
Exactly. The mallet was a large wooden hammer, often cut from the stem or a thick branch of a tree. Typically featured a short handle and a cylindrical wooden head. The esteemed maritime archaeologist George F. Bass described it that way. Mallets were primarily used for pounding chisels, especially the mortising chisels, to make precise cuts for joinery.
Right, driving the chisel.
Yes. But their utility extended to various stages of construction, particularly for driving planks into place, ensuring a tight fit and a watertight hull. Examples from Deshasha, dating to the 5th dynasty, revealed diverse forms. Some were thinned branches for a better grip, others had crossheads, and many featured heavy conical, bulbous, or cylindrical heads. Reflects their heavy-duty applications.
And these stuck around for a while.
Oh, yeah. These forms continued in use well into the 19th dynasty, a testament to their enduring effectiveness.
And a maul. That sounds like the sledgehammer equivalent for even heavier work.
That's right. The maul was essentially a stone dressing tool, functioning as a heavy sledgehammer, used from the Old to Middle Kingdoms.
Yeah.
Evidence points to its use in contexts like the tomb of Ti at Saqqara, where a heavy maul with a wooden handle was discovered. Another example is a limestone maul from Beni Hassan, dating to the 12th dynasty.
So serious force.
Definitely. These were powerful tools designed for heavy impact, probably for the initial rough shaping of large stone elements or the most substantial timbers before finer tools took over. You can almost picture the incredible physical exertion, the rhythm of those workers, swinging these heavy mauls, certainly a different kind of power tool than we know today.
No kidding. Okay, moving on to precision and perspective. Building massive, symmetrical vessels certainly required accuracy. How did they ensure everything was straight and level? Tell us about the plumb bob, or TX.
The plumb bob, or plumb line, was absolutely crucial for establishing a vertical reference. Simple but effective. It employed the unwavering law of gravity to ensure hull symmetry accurate elevations, and precise dimensions during the intricate process of construction.
Essential for getting things right.
Absolutely. By the end of the Old Kingdom, depictions of the plumb bob became less frequent in boat construction reliefs, interestingly. But earlier tomb discoveries, like those in the Tomb of Tai and the Chapel of Quanra, illustrate various shapes and sizes. Patri's excavations revealed examples made of diverse materials: wood, alabaster, limestone, copper alloy, and in various shapes: pyramidal, oblong, trapezoidal. These simple yet profoundly effective tools were foundational for maintaining the structural integrity and aesthetic balance of their impressive watercraft.
And builders' squares. Were they similar in principle to what we know today?
Very similar in principle, yes. The carpenter's square was one of the oldest and most consistently used technical instruments. Employed by Egyptian builders and masons for laying off or checking right angles, whether in building monumental structures or dressing blocks of wood.
Just like today.
Pretty much. In its basic form, it consisted of two arms perpendicular to each other, connected at their intersection. Sometimes a footboard was added to one arm, allowing the square to stand upright independently.
Oh, handy.
Yeah. In other cases, an additional piece of wood connected the two legs, forming an A shape for enhanced stability during use. Good examples include a modern replica of a builder's square from the Theban tomb of Mektira and a square level found alongside other tools in the tomb of the Egyptian architect Sennacherib at Deir el-Medina, dating back to the 20th dynasty. These finds affirm their long-standing importance in ensuring geometric precision.
So, bringing all these Egyptian tools together, what do they tell us about the fundamental philosophy of their shipbuilding? How did these tools shape their approach to building boats?
What's truly fascinating here, I think, is that the sheer prevalence and development of the adze, the mallet, and the chisel directly reflect the shell-first construction method. That was the hallmark of ancient Egyptian shipbuilding.
Shell first. Explain that.
Imagine building a boat by essentially constructing the outer skin, the shell, first. Builders began by laying down thick planks that, unlike modern plywood, couldn't be easily bent into complex curves. So they had to meticulously carve and curve them using tools like the adze. The adze was the perfect tool for this. We see this vividly with the 3rd dynasty boat builder Anqua, who was famously portrayed holding an adze, often in a stance that speaks to the power and control needed for shaping.
Okay, so shape the planks first.
Exactly. Then the mallet and chisel were indispensable for creating the mortise and tenon joints, or the intricate lashing systems that held these heavy-shaped planks together without the need for internal frames added later.
Oh, okay.
The mallet would also be used to bounce or drive planks and tenons into place, ensuring a tight, robust, and watertight hull. The choice of tools truly dictated, and was in turn dictated by, their innovative shell-first construction philosophy.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, from that foundational understanding of Egyptian ingenuity, we now set sail across the Mediterranean to ancient Greece. How did their distinctive geography, a land of islands and intricate coastlines, so different from the Nile Valley, reshapes the shipwright's craft?
Immensely. Greece's geography, with its fragmented landmass, numerous islands, and extensive coastline, naturally fostered robust maritime trade and exploration.
Yes, sea travel was essential.
Totally. This constant interaction with the sea necessitated a highly sophisticated shipbuilding industry to support their growing network. Despite a scarcity of good, readily available timber locally, the Greeks developed highly refined woodworking skills. They often imported specific types of woods suitable for various parts of their vessels.
So they had to be resourceful.
Very. Their reliance on the sea was a driving force behind their technological advancements.
And the source notes a strong Phoenician influence on Greek shipbuilding. How significant was this transmission of knowledge between these vibrant maritime cultures?
That's a really interesting point. The source notes strong affinities and shipbuilding details between Greek and Phoenician crafts. It suggests a significant transmission of know-how and technological exchange between these cultures.
So sharing ideas.
Yeah, it wasn't merely imitation. It was a diffusion of ideas, techniques, perhaps even skilled artisans moving between regions. It highlights the deeply interconnected nature of ancient Mediterranean maritime cultures. This cross-pollination certainly enriched Greek shipbuilding practices, allowing them to adapt and innovate further.
Unlike Egypt's dry tombs, which preserved wooden objects so well, it must have been much harder to find intact wooden tools in the often waterlogged archaeological contexts of Greece. So how do we learn about their tools? What are our primary sources of knowledge for Greek shipbuilding?
You're right. Preservation is a significant challenge, makes our detective work even more crucial.
Mm-hmm.
However, we pieced together their toolkit from a few vital complementary sources. Homeric epics like the Odyssey and Iliad surprisingly offer incredibly detailed descriptions of tools and shipbuilding activities.
Homer.
Yeah. Provides a rich literary window into Mycenaean practices. Then you have Theophrastus's Enquiry into Plants, which gives invaluable botanical insights into wood selection, its properties, and how different types were best suited for specific tools or ship parts.
Fascinating.
But, perhaps most crucially, underwater excavations of shipwrecks like Magan Mikal, Kazulburun, Pabuspernu, and Giglio provide direct archaeological evidence.
Sunken treasure. Well, tools, anyway.
Exactly, yielding actual tools themselves, along with invaluable tool marks on the timbers. These tangible remains allow us to see how their sophisticated and complex shipbuilding was physically executed.
Let's look at the Greek shipwrights kit then, starting in with the axe, or pelekes. The axe remained fundamental, obviously, but did its design or primary use evolve significantly from their Egyptian counterparts, or was it a case of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
The axe certainly remained fundamental for the Greeks, chopping, splitting, piercing timber. Homer vividly describes Odysseus being given a great axe, well fitted to his hands, an axe of bronze sharpened on both sides for felling trees to build his raft, underscores its enduring utility.
Right.
Axes were even used symbolically in the Iliad to represent the intensity of battle, showing their cultural resonance. But here's where it gets really interesting and distinct for Greece.
Okay.
The double axe, or labris. This was a prominent tool holding deep cultural significance beyond just its practical use. It was also a religious symbol, particularly in Minoan Crete, frequently appearing on Minoan vases and later on Greek pottery.
A religious symbol and a tool.
Exactly. And an actual iron double axe head was found at the Kazalburun shipwreck. Underscores its practical use in shipbuilding in addition to its powerful symbolic meaning. This dual role is a unique insight into Greek tool culture.
That is interesting. Okay, saws or pridgeon. It's hard to imagine constructing large vessels without them. What insights do we have into how the Greeks managed to saw wood for shipbuilding without modern power tools?
Well, the saw was an essential tool from the Bronze Age through the Iron Age, a testament to its enduring design. Theophrastus, the ancient Greek philosopher and botanist, he detailed the importance of wood moisture for effective sawing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, noting that green wood could clog the saw teeth, while overly dry wood, because it was so hard, was difficult to cut. This insight suggests a nuanced understanding of materials and preparation.
Smart.
And archaeological evidence from shipwrecks like Marag and Michael and Pabuspernu, where distinctive saw marks are preserved on planks, indicates the use of huge saws, sometimes requiring multiple people to operate them simultaneously.
Wow, team effort sawing.
You can almost picture the incredible physical exertion, right? The rhythmic pull and push of those workers moving these massive timbers. These marks often had no specific pattern or adjusted distance between them, appearing on tenons and other parts of the hull, reveals the hands-on, labor-intensive nature of their timber processing.
The adze, or skeparnos, again, we've seen its versatility in Egypt. What specific role did it play for Greek shipwrights, particularly in shaping their hull forms? Seems like a key tool.
Indeed. The adze continued its crucial role as a multi-purpose tool for shaping and finishing timber. Homer had Odysseus use an adze for shaping the timbers of his ship, highlighting its enduring importance.
Right.
Iconographic evidence on Greek pottery frequently depicts carpenters using long-handled adzes, while carved gems show figures like Argos using a short-handled adze in shipbuilding contexts. Critically, distinct adze marks are clearly visible on frames and planks of shipwrecks, such as Magaging Mikal and Pabuspernu. These marks, varying in width from 2 to 5 centimeters, demonstrate that planks were often first sawn and then meticulously curved to shape using the adze.
So shaping, not just smoothing.
Exactly. This makes the adze an indispensable tool for achieving the complex and precise hull forms characteristic of Greek vessels. Shows a refined application of this ancient tool.
What about the chisel, or smela? Given the sophisticated joinery found in Greek ships, what was its specific role? Still for mortises.
Vital, yes, vital for carving, cutting, and shaping wood, especially green wood, which Theophrastus observed allowed the chisel to get a better hold and not slip off.
Interesting detail.
Yeah, this precision tool left distinct marks, such as those found in the mast step groove of the Marag and Mickle shipwreck. Indicates its crucial role in fine joinery. Greek chisels came in several types, reflecting their specialized tasks.
Yeah, what?
You had socketed chisels with pointed edges and cylindrical bars designed for robust carving. tanged chisels, designed to fit into a separate handle for better control and shock absorption, often with iron tangs or rectangular sockets. Flat chisels, considered multi-purpose and found at the Kızılburun shipwreck, ideal for general shaping. And bar chisels, also found at Kızılburun.
It's a whole kit of chisels.
Right. Each type possessed specific characteristics adapted for different tasks, from robust carving to delicate finishing work. Shows a highly developed understanding of woodworking.
The bow drill, or trypanon, makes a reappearance. Did the Greeks use it similarly to the Egyptians, or were there subtle differences in its application?
Yes, the Greeks employed the bow drill for drilling holes, such as into the knees, the reinforcing timbers on the Makan Michael shipwreck. Indicates a continued need for small, precise circular perforations. A vase scene clearly shows a carpenter using a bow drill for, like, the chest, illustrating its everyday application. A key component, the nave, that's the bearing for the spindle of a bow drill, made of heartwood and hollowed to permanently attach to the spindle, was found at Magan Michael. Direct archaeological evidence of its use in a shipbuilding context.
It's a pretty similar function, then.
Yeah, it functioned much like the Egyptian version, applying pressure from a cap while a bow rotated the spindle, a consistent design across the Mediterranean.
Here's a new tool for our deep dive. The strap drill. What is it, and how did it work, especially in a time before advanced mechanics? Sounds interesting.
The strap drill was a powerful, often two-man drill, indicates tasks requiring significant torque, more power.
2 people. Wow.
Yeah. Homer gives a truly vivid description in the Odyssey, comparing the blinding of the Cyclops Polyphemus to boring a ship's timber with a drill twirled by a strap held at either end by a team. Allows for continuous bidirectional rotation.
I see, like pulling a rope back and forth around the drill.
Exactly. This literary evidence, along with a depiction on a carved gem, confirms its use in the Greek era. It was a more robust drilling solution than the bow drill, perfect for creating larger holes or boring through tougher, thicker wood, signifying a step up in mechanical advantage for demanding boring tasks in shipbuilding.
A testament to ancient problem solving through collaboration and simple mechanics.
Precisely.
And another new addition to the kit for the Greeks, the auger.
Indeed. The auger is a boring tool designed to turn continuously in one direction, unlike the back-and-forth motion of a drill.
Okay, how's that different?
It typically had a T-shaped handle at the top, allowing the user to apply downward pressure and rotational force simultaneously. And it had a spoon-shaped bit for cutting, sort of scooping out the wood. Its use in shipbuilding is illustrated in Homer's Odyssey, where Calypso gives Odysseus augers to make holes for pegs when constructing his raft. This highlights its crucial role in creating precisely sized, round holes for fastenings, a critical element in the evolving joinery of Greek ships, especially for the tree nails that secured planks and frames.
Back to the bouncing tools for Greece. Hammers or sphaira? Still driving things in, I presume. Any specific developments here?
Yes, hammers were used in conjunction with chisels, much as they are today, for shaping, fastening, and assembling. A terracotta relief from ancient Greece depicts Athena supervising Argos, building the ship Argo, with Argos holding a hammer and chisel. Illustrates its direct and fundamental application in construction.
Right.
Theophrastus, with his keen observations of nature and materials, even noted that wild olive wood made the best hammers.
Really? Wild olive?
Probably indicating a careful selection of materials based on properties like hardness and durability for specific tools. Wild olive is very dense. Leontakis, the carpenter's dedication of his tools to the gods, also explicitly included a hammer, underscoring its essential nature in the shipwright's toolkit.
So a mallet, also called sphaira in Greek, was a wooden hammer like in Egypt.
Correct. Mallets were equally important for forcing timbers and planks into place, driving tree nails and tenons, and striking chisels, ensuring tight, precise fits.
Still essential, though.
Absolutely. Theophrastus again offered a practical insight, mentioning that large mallets were often made of Aleppo pine wood, likely chosen for its density and shock-absorbing properties. Wooden mallets with balanced heads and long handles designed to absorb the impact of strikes were recovered from the Magan Michael shipwreck. Indicates their continued importance in shipbuilding for ensuring secure fastenings and driving components firmly into place.
With increasingly complex Greek ship designs and advanced joinery, accurate measurement must have been absolutely key. What precision tools did the Greeks use to achieve such feats of engineering?
Absolutely. Precision was paramount. In a broader sense of standardization, Phidon is credited with inventing a system of standard measures, which was later adopted in Athens, laid a foundation for consistent construction.
Okay.
Theodorus of Samos is often credited with inventing the set square, a fundamental geometric tool. Specific tools found include the plumb bob, or staff may, discovered at Magan Michael, made of galena that's a dense lead ore with a round top and horizontal base, used for establishing perfectly vertical references.
So using the plumb bob.
Yep. And the ruler, or kanin, also from Magan Michael, this is a truly remarkable artifact, represents the earliest preserved classical Greek measuring instrument.
What's special about it?
What's exceptional about this ruler is its dual standard design. It incorporated both Phaidonian and Solonian foot units, which correlates precisely to historical accounts of Solon's metrological reforms, shows a sophisticated understanding of measurement and its political and economic implications.
A dual standard ruler. That is incredibly sophisticated for its time. Wow. What about squares and calipers for even more precise work?
Well, the square, or numion, found at Magan Michael was used for drawing or testing right angles. Typically consisted of a blade, the vertical arm, a tongue, the horizontal arm, and sometimes a footboard for stability. But one of the most remarkable finds, showcasing true precision, is a pair of wooden carpenter's calipers discovered at the Giglio shipwreck dating to around 600 BC.
Wooden calipers.
Wooden. This tool had a beam, a fixed head, a sliding head, and a lip for friction. The beam passed through the fixed head, which was secured with wooden pins, allowing for precise movement and adjustment. The sliding head then provided the exact measurement.
That's incredible for 600 BC.
It really is an exceptional artifact, demonstrating an advanced understanding of precision measurement and transfer in Greek shipbuilding, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible with ancient tools.
Did the Greeks also use planes for smoothing wood surfaces, like we might expect with such sophisticated carpentry?
That's a good question. While no claims have been archaeologically found in ancient Greek contexts, which is a gap in our physical record, the literary evidence is quite strong.
Whoa.
The carpenter Leontekos, in a moving gesture of dedication, listed his tools to the gods, and his list explicitly included a plane. So this literary evidence strongly suggests that planes, though perhaps not preserved in the often harsh archaeological record, were indeed part of the Greek shipwright's toolkit for smoothing surfaces, bringing a finer finish to their vessels. It's a reminder that archaeology isn't just about what we find, but what we can infer from other sources too.
Good point. So bringing it all together for Greece, what was the underlying philosophy of their shipbuilding, and how did these specific tools support and enable that approach?
The Greeks, much like the Egyptians, largely followed shell-first construction principles.
Still shell first, then.
Mostly. However, they employed two main assembly methods that evolved over time. An earlier sewing method, where holes were perforated with tools like augers and planks, were literally lashed together with cords, secured with pegs.
Sewn boats.
Yeah. And a more recent and more robust method involving a dense network of pegged mortise and tenon joints, similar to the Egyptians, but perhaps even denser.
Okay.
This reliance on intricate joinery, whether sewn or mortised, perfectly explains the prominence of tools like chisels for cutting precise mortises, mallets and hammers for powerfully driving in tenons and planks, and piercing tools such as augers and drills for creating the necessary holes for fastenings. Their tools were a direct response to and enablers of these precise and intricate assembly techniques, shows a continuous refinement of their craft.
Our journey continues into the era of engineering empires, Rome and Byzantium. The Roman Empire was a colossal naval superpower. How did their tools reflect their engineering prowess and their vast maritime ambitions? They built on a massive scale.
They certainly did. The Romans, known for their pragmatic approach and remarkable organizational skills, adopted and refined many existing technologies, including those from the Greeks, to a highly efficient degree. Wolfgang Gaetsch, in his comprehensive study of Roman iron tools, suggested that their forms were so highly developed and functional that they remained largely unchanged until the machine age.
Wow, really? That effective?
Apparently so. Indicates a very efficient and standardized approach to tool design. Reflects their unparalleled engineering capabilities and their drive for uniformity across their vast empire.
And the Byzantines. They're often seen as a continuation of Roman tradition, but also a bridge to new developments. What was their contribution?
The Byzantine Empire, as the successor to Rome in the East, certainly maintained much of this established tradition. However, the Byzantine era also marked a crucial transition in shipbuilding techniques, particularly moving away from strict shell-first construction towards a more frame-first approach.
Flamed first. Okay, that sounds like a big shift.
It was fundamental, and this shift inherently influenced the types of tools that were prioritized and developed, shows an evolution in thinking about ship architecture.
What kind of evidence do we have for Roman and Byzantine tools? Is it as rich as Egypt's tombs or Greece's shipwrecks? Seems like iron might survive better sometimes.
It's remarkably abundant and diverse, actually. It gives us a clearer picture than ever before. Trajan's column, that magnificent monumental column in Rome, for
Now you've
instance,
seen pictures of that.
it provides invaluable iconographic evidence, depicting legionaries cutting trees with specialized axes during military campaigns.
Okay.
Mosaics, such as one from the Baths of Sena, vividly show carpenters at work with an array of tools. Frame saws, bow drills, adzes, gives us a snapshot of a bustling workshop.
Cool.
Funerary monuments and coins also offer glimpses of tools as symbols of profession, showing their importance in society. And crucially, shipwrecks like Yassi Ada I, a Byzantine wreck, Matei I, a Roman wreck, and the Dor-Byzantine shipwreck provide direct archaeological evidence of the tools themselves, along with their distinctive marks on timber, offers a detailed, hands-on understanding of their construction methods.
Let's delve into the toolkit then, starting with the axe or securus. Did Roman axes differ much from their earlier counterparts, or did they simply refine existing designs?
Roman axes continued to be fundamental for tree felling and initial timber preparation. That's a timeless need, right?
Sure is.
They utilized both single and double-bladed axes, though the single blade was more common for general work. What's truly fascinating here is the introduction of highly specialized axes like the upupa, vividly depicted on Trajan's column.
The upupa. What was special about it?
This ingenious axe had a cutting edge on one side for felling and chopping, and a pick-type head on the other, designed for sticking into the ground to anchor it or for leveraging and moving heavy logs.
Ah, multi-tool.
Yeah.
Very Roman.
Exactly. Showcases Roman ingenuity in combining multiple functions into a single, efficient tool. A double axe was also found at the Byzantine shipwreck Yassi Ada I. It featured a concave top plane and a round eye secured with a nail acting as a wedge to hold the handle tightly. Illustrates robust construction and continued use of traditional forms, too.
Saws, or sera. These must have been heavily used in Roman construction, given their reputation for building vast infrastructure and complex vessels.
Absolutely. Saws were prominently used at every level of woodworking. From initial tree felling to fine veneering and intricate jointing, reflects a highly developed woodworking culture. Roman saw blades, made of thin iron sheets, and their frames came in various sizes, precisely tailored to the type and fineness of the cut required. The poet Ovid even attributes the invention of the saw to Daedalus's nephew, inspired by the natural serrations of a fish backbone. A charming origin story, right?
Yeah.
Wolfgang Gaetsch, a leading scholar, categorized Roman saws into 5 distinct types. Bow saws for intricate cuts, small frame saws, large frame saws specifically for ripping logs down their length.
Ripping logs, okay.
Crosscut saws for heavy timbers, and small hand saws for finer work. Indicates a highly specialized range of tools for different tasks. We find strong evidence of their extensive use through saw marks on hardwood frames from the Dor-Byzantine shipwreck. Shows both parallel and diagonal cuts, illustrating their efficiency in timber processing.
The adze, or assia, just keeps evolving, improving its versatility. What's new and noteworthy in the Roman and Byzantine worlds for this indispensable tool? Still the workhorse.
Still the workhorse, definitely. The adze continued its crucial multi-purpose role for shaping curved timbers and smoothing surfaces. Remained a primary tool for finish work. Roman adzes can be broadly classified into 2 major groups. Simple blades, which resembled thin metal wedges or broad chisels, socketed onto bent wooden handles.
Okay.
But the truly ingenious innovation was the adze hammer.
Adze hammer.
Yeah. This combined a sharp cutting edge on one side with a striking hammerhead on the other, making it a dual-purpose tool for both shaping wood and for driving in fasteners or pounding materials.
Very efficient.
Totally. Well-preserved examples are found in Romano-British collections, speaking to their widespread use. Funerary reliefs from the Western Roman Empire vividly depict shipwrights working with adzes on planks, underscoring their continued central importance.
Right.
The Roman period also introduced the adze plane, or a cobble. A small double-handled adze used for extremely close smoothing work. Shows a desire for finer finishes. A distinctive slot adze was also found at Yassi Ada, further demonstrating the tool's adaptability and specialized forms.
Chisels, or scalprum. Did they remain as crucial for joinery in Roman and Byzantine shipbuilding as in early periods? Seems like Roman joinery was pretty complex.
Indispensable, perhaps even more so with the increasing sophistication of Roman joinery. Chisels were critical for shaping wooden joints, cutting mortises, and forming tenons and dovetails with precision.
Yeah.
Their blades were typically flat and tapered. The Romans had various types, paring chisels for shallow, delicate cuts, with blades tapering from the iron shaft. Mortising chisels with thick, heavy blades specifically designed for deep mortises and often struck with powerful mallets vividly depicted in Pompeii paintings of Icarus working with wood.
Yeah. Oh,
And firmer chisels were a general use category, thicker and stronger, capable of being struck with a hammer or mallet for more robust tasks. Archaeological finds from Yassi Ada include chisels with round, flat heads and rectangular blades. Additionally, gouges, a type of chisel with curved edges for scooping and hollowing cuts, were also in use, showcasing a comprehensive range of specialized tools for every woodworking need.
the bow drill, or terebra. How did the Romans innovate or refine this relatively ancient tool? Did they improve it?
Well, the bow drill remained a key tool, particularly for the initial hollowing out of mortises before chisels were used for finishing.
Okay.
Interestingly, the historian Goodman suggested that the Romans were among the first to attach the thong to a bowed stick rather than a straight one.
Oh, what difference would that make?
This subtle but significant change would have improved the efficiency of the drilling action, made it smoother and more powerful, likely giving more consistent tension on the cord.
Ah, makes sense.
It's depicted on various stelas and marble reliefs, clearly showing its components. A bearing at the top for applying hand pressure, a cylindrical spindle wrapped with the bow's cord, and a sharpened drill bit. This tool was essential for creating the precise pilot holes and initial cavities needed for their intricate joinery, even if the final shaping was done by chisel.
The strap drill is back again, carrying over from Greece. Was it still a prominent tool for the big jobs?
Yes, the strap drill continued to be used for larger, more demanding boring tasks. Evidence from the Byzantine shipwreck Tentura E shows well-preserved drilled holes in timbers, measuring 15 millimeters in diameter. Bolts for securing the timbers were driven through these holes.
Right.
These distinct marks are tangible proof of its continued application for robust boring tasks in Byzantine shipbuilding, demonstrating its enduring effectiveness for heavy-duty perforations where precision and force were needed.
And the auger, also terebra, another tool making a reappearance from the Greek toolkit, still turning continuously.
Yep, the auger remained the only boring tool that could be turned continuously in one direction, a key advantage for certain tasks. It was typically a T-shaped tool with a spoon-shaped bit, provided significant leverage due to its long handle, allowing the user to apply both rotational and downward force. While no direct auger finds were specifically mentioned for the Roman era in all contexts covered by the source, marks consistent with auger use appeared on wooden planks from a Byzantine shipwreck. This implies its ongoing, though perhaps less frequently depicted, importance for creating peg holes and other continuous boring actions where its specific mechanics were most efficient.
Let's look at percussion tools for Rome and Byzantium. Hammers. Are we seeing distinctly modern-looking hammers by this point in history, like things we'd recognize?
Indeed. By Roman times, hammers had developed into forms that are immediately recognizable to us today, showcasing a remarkable evolution in design.
Okay.
They often featured iron heads, and crucially, some even included claws for nail extraction, which was a practical innovation.
The claw hammer, wow.
Yeah. These tools were used for both striking and prying, indicating their versatility. A well-preserved hammer was found at the 4th century BC Roman shipwreck Matale A, and the Byzantine wreck Yassi Ida I yielded both round-headed and claw hammers, demonstrating their evolved design and specialized functions in shipbuilding. The heaviest iron hammers, or sledgehammers, were used when immense force was required for the most substantial fastening and fitting tasks.
And mallets, or malleus.
Yeah.
Still primarily wooden for them.
Yes. Mallets continue to be made of hardwood, with beech often favored for its density and resilience. The simplest forms were crafted from a single piece of wood, robust and effective.
Yep.
They were absolutely crucial for making seams watertight by driving fibrous materials like oakum or moss between planks, a process called caulking, and for driving planks and tenons into place, ensuring a tight and structurally sound hull. Paintings from Pompeii show mallets in use, such as Icarus cutting mortises, reinforcing their role in woodworking and shipbuilding. A Roman ship discovered in 1962 also yielded a mallet made from a single piece of wood, a testament to the enduring effectiveness of this basic yet vital tool.
Precision in construction was a hallmark of Roman engineering, from their aqueducts to their ships.
Yeah,
What about their measuring tools? Did they advance here too?
absolutely. Measuring instruments are vividly depicted on a Roman funerary plaque. It's essentially a snapshot of a craftsman's workbench, showing a ruler, calipers, a plumb line, and a square.
All the key items.
Pretty much. The plumb bob, or perpendiculum, remained essential for establishing vertical lines, typically a metal weight with a pointed end. The ruler, or regula, was a straight strip, usually bronze, often marked with lines or symbols rather than numbers. Shows a different approach to numerical notation than we use today. A funerary stele shows a carpenter holding a ruler, underscoring its everyday use. The square, or normacacumen, was used for checking right angles. Isidore described a simple triangular form made from 3 wooden battens, a design that proved timeless. Bronze examples exist from Pompeii. Finally, calipers, or cercinus, were used for transferring measurements, coming in both straight and curved-legged forms, as depicted on reliefs. Crucial for replicating dimensions accurately across complex ship components.
The plane, runcina, finally making a clear and prominent appearance in the Roman period. We barely saw it before. What did this mean for the finishing construction of their ships?
Yes, the Roman period is truly where the plane comes into its own, becomes a sophisticated and diverse tool. The Romans had various shapes and sizes, indicating highly specific functions.
Okay.
It was primarily used for smoothing wood surfaces, as depicted on a Roman funerary relief showing a craftsman meticulously smoothing a plank with a plane, indicates a desire for a higher quality finish and maybe a better hydrodynamic performance for their vessels.
Makes sense. Smoother is faster.
Exactly. The scholar Ulrich categorized planes into several types. Jack planes for rapidly removing large amounts of wood, trying truing planes for leveling boards, and long joining planes for creating perfectly flat edges for seamless joins. Crucially for shipbuilding, they had rabbeting planes, fitted with narrow blades specifically for cutting long, precise grooves, especially in the keel, or for creating watertight plank joins.
Specialized for grooves.
Right. A remarkably well-preserved Romano-British plane with an ivory stock further exemplifies their advanced design, dating to the earlier Roman period, showcasing their commitment to precision and finish.
So how did Roman and Byzantine shipbuilding philosophy reflect this expanded and refined toolkit? What do these tools tell us about their construction methods, especially with that shell-first versus frame-first idea?
Well, the Romans largely continued the Greek shell-first methods, albeit with significant refinements and an increased emphasis on standardization and precision. The presence of a wide array of saws, especially frame saws for cutting thinner planking, and the versatile adze hammer for both shaping and fastening fits perfectly with this refined shell-first approach. Perforating tools like bow drills and augers were still used for creating peg holes or treenail passages. The plane's prominence, particularly rabbeting planes, shows a desire for finer finish and more precise joinery, even within the shell-first method. What's truly fascinating here, though, is the Byzantine era.
Right. What specifically changed with the Byzantines then? Where do we see that pivotal shift in shipbuilding techniques you mentioned?
The Yassi Ada shipwreck offers crucial clues to a significant transition from shell-first to a more frame-first construction.
Okay, explain frame-first again.
Think of it like this. In shell-first, you build the outer skin of the boat first, and then add internal supports like ribs afterwards. In frame-first, which is much closer to modern shipbuilding, you build the internal skeleton or framework of the ship, first the keel and ribs, and then you attach the planks to that sturdy frame.
Okay. Build the skeleton first.
Exactly. This fundamental shift meant Byzantine builders started relying more on a transversal framing system, and consequently, less on the dense mortise and tenon joint systems that characterized earlier shell-first periods.
Makes sense. The frame holds it together more.
Right. This completely reprioritized the shipwright's toolkit. It explains why tools like chisels and augers, which were central to creating the extensive joinery of shell-first hulls, became relatively rarer in later Byzantine archaeological finds. The emphasis moved from laboriously joining planks edge to edge to meticulously crafting and securing a robust internal frame first, a really fundamental change in how you conceive of and build a ship.
This is where it gets really interesting and immediate.
Uh-huh.
How do we bring these ancient tools and techniques to life today?
Yeah.
It's one thing to read about them in a thesis, another to truly understand how they felt and performed in the hands of a shipwright. You need to try it right.
Exactly. That's where ethnography and experimental archaeology come in, powerfully bridging the gap between the past and present. Ethnography, which is the study of traditional living practices, provides invaluable context to excavated materials and tool marks. It helps us understand why certain choices were made, how tools were actually used, and the nuances of ancient craftsmanship that formal texts might miss.
Okay.
Experimental archaeology, through hands-on reconstruction, allows us to test hypotheses about past technologies by building full-scale models or conducting controlled experiments. This approach gives us a tactile, visceral understanding of ancient craftsmanship, literally putting these tools back into human hands.
Tell us about one of these groundbreaking projects, Men of the Desert, which brought Hatshepsut's ancient Egyptian trading ship back to life. That sounds amazing.
It was incredible. From 2006 to 2008, Dr. Cheryl Ward led a truly remarkable team to reconstruct Men of the Desert, a trading ship based on 3,500-year-old archaeological data from the ancient port of Gwasis.
Wow.
The ship was built at the Ibad El Rahman shipyard in Rashid, Egypt, by highly skilled technicians who, in many ways, drew on ancestral knowledge, using the same shell-first techniques of ancient Egypt. Douglas fir was chosen for its comparable physical characteristics to the ancient woods likely used. The team primarily used tools similar to ancient Egyptian ones, but made of iron instead of bronze for practicality.
Right, bronze would be hard to source and work, maybe.
Exactly. So the adze was used for the painstaking work of cutting and curving planks, a pole saw for trimming pegs, chisels for mortising, including a specially designed curved chisel for concave surfaces.
Over it.
An auger was used for making holes, interestingly, replacing the ancient bow drill for efficiency. Hammers fitted parts, plumb bobs ensured symmetry, and carpenter's squares checked right angles, pretty much the ancient toolkit, but with iron blades.
So they really stuck to tradition for this reconstruction, giving us a true sense of the ancient experience. How did that go?
Mostly, yes, and this is where the experimental archaeology yields incredible insight. The primary crew relied on these iron hand tools, made to ancient specifications, for about 5 months.
5 months of hand tools.
Yeah. This dedication allowed them to truly experience the ancient methods, the rhythm of the work, and the sheer physical effort involved. However, to save time during the final 2 months, they did integrate electric tools for certain tasks.
Ah, okay. The reality of deadlines.
Right. For instance, a manual mortise, using a chisel and mallet, took approximately 16 minutes to create.
16 minutes for one mortise.
Yeah, while an electric mortiser reduced that to just 5 minutes.
Big difference.
Huge. This vivid contrast highlights the trade-off between absolute authenticity in the experimental setting and modern efficiency. It powerfully illustrates the immense time, skill, and sheer human effort that ancient shipwrights poured into their craft, underscores their mastery and dedication.
And a Greek replica. What about Project Protus and the ship Gyptus? Did they try a similar approach?
Gyptus was a fantastic replica of an archaic Greek ship from the 6th century BC built in Marseille. This project notably employed a strong ethnographic approach, drawing fascinating parallels from existing sewn boat traditions found in communities in the Indian Ocean.
Sewn boats still exist.
In some places, yes. These traditional practices offered crucial insights for interpreting archaeological remains where direct evidence was scarce, especially for that older Greek technique.
Okay.
Carpenters on the Gyptus project used a practical mix of rudimentary hand tools like hammers, gouges, mallets, and chisels, alongside modern electric tools to facilitate the process. This again showcases that balance between historical accuracy and the practicalities of modern project timelines, each approach contributing to a deeper understanding.
Were similar hybrid approaches taken for Roman ship models as well? Mixing old and new?
Yes, absolutely. For Roman ship models like Cavalier, dating to around 100 BC, and Comacchio from the late 1st century AD, researchers also used a combination of traditional tools: small hand saws, rabbet planes, chisels, hammers, gouges, and stakes. Those are large, specialized chisels. But to expedite the construction of these study models, they also incorporated modern electric tools, including electric planers, planing machines, electric mortisers, and power drills. This hybrid approach allowed them to effectively test construction hypotheses and explore ancient methods while managing the significant time investment required for such intricate, large-scale work. It allows us to understand the ancient methods without taking centuries to build a single ship.
Right, makes sense. So what's the overall conclusion from all this ethnographic and experimental work across these various ancient civilizations? What powerful insights do these modern reconstructions offer us?
These projects collectively reveal a profound truth, I think. While the fundamental shapes and core functions of ancient shipbuilding tools remained remarkably consistent across millennia. An axe is still an axe, a chisel still a chisel, the major transformations have been in the materials used.
Right, stone, bronze, iron.
Exactly, evolving from stone and bronze to iron. And the significant shift from pure human power to electric assistance in modern times, the men of the desert reconstruction, perhaps, came closest to strictly adhering to ancient methodologies, powerfully showcasing the immense skill, time commitment, and sheer physical endurance of ancient shipwrights.
Mm.
They highlight how human ingenuity adapts, finding the most effective tools and methods within the available technological framework, proving that the human element of skill and creativity was and still is paramount.
So what does all this mean then, wrapping it up? We've journeyed through thousands of years of human ingenuity, from the earliest stone tools of Egypt to the sophisticated iron implement of Rome. And we've seen how these tools not only reflected but also drove fundamental shifts in shipbuilding techniques across the Mediterranean. It's truly a story of adaptation, isn't it?
Indeed, it really is. We've traced the remarkable evolution of cutting tools like the axe, saw, adze, and chisel. We saw the rise of the specialized double axe in Greece, a tool with both practical and profound symbolic meaning.
Yeah, the labris.
Right. And we uncovered the incredibly versatile adze hammer and adze plane in Rome, showcasing a drive for efficiency and specialized finishing. Percussion tools like hammers and mallets, initially stone, adapted to fit more ergonomic designs and stronger materials like iron, crucial for driving planks and fastening components.
Hmm.
Measuring tools, from the simple plumb, bob, and square, remain surprisingly consistent in their core function, a testament to fundamental physics, really, while advanced calipers emerged in Greece and Rome for even greater precision.
Right, those wooden calipers were amazing.
Weren't they? And the plane, almost entirely absent in early Egyptian archaeological records, finally made a clear and vital appearance as a Roman staple for smoothing and refining surfaces, a mark of their engineering precision.
And it's fascinating how these tools and their evolution were so intricately tied to that fundamental shift from shell-first construction, where the outer hull is built first, like a giant wooden puzzle, to the later frame-first methods, where the internal skeleton is constructed before the skin is applied, particularly evident in the Byzantine era. This fundamentally changed the shipwright's toolkit, didn't it?
Yeah.
De-emphasizing some tools while making others more vital.
Absolutely. That constant thread throughout this entire history is adaptability. Blades changed from readily available stone to the more durable copper, then the harder bronze, and finally the ubiquitous iron. Each leap significantly improving efficiency and durability.
Mhm.
The methods of hafting handles evolved from simple leather thongs to more secure fittings, enhancing tool control and safety for the shipwright. These changes weren't just about individual tools, they reflected a deeper, evolving understanding of materials, science, mechanics, and the fundamental principles of naval architecture. It's a story of continuous, hands-on innovation.
This deep dive isn't just history. It's a profound look at how human problem-solving, relentless innovation, and hands-on skill shaped entire civilizations, propelled exploration and trade across vast distances, and connected disparate cultures across the sea. It shows us how every cut, every joint, every measurement contributed to the very fabric of ancient life and laid the groundwork for the maritime technologies that followed. It makes you realize how much ingenuity truly lies in simple, effective tools.
Absolutely. And considering how consistently fundamental tool shapes persisted for millennia, the basic axe, the adze, the chisel, despite radical changes in material, and the eventual advent of mechanical power, this raises an important question for us today, doesn't it?
Like what?
What seemingly primitive tools or foundational concepts do we still rely on today, perhaps in digital or conceptual forms, that might be equally fundamental to our future innovations? And what truly novel tools, or perhaps even rediscovered ancient principles, are still waiting to be unearthed or invented to solve the complex challenges of tomorrow? What stands out to you about this incredible continuity and change in the shipwright's toolkit?